What's up, guys? We're here at
Mr. James Hsu.com.
We're here talking about wonderful, positive things, and we're here to...
such as the birth of my nephew.
This little man that's head is like this big.
Yeah, like 7 pounds of just amazingness.
Congratulations to your family, bro.
Thank you. Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
I'm super excited. So what better way to celebrate such an event like the birth of a nephew than the death of a niece?
Yes!
In the movie Don't Let Go.
Don't Let Go.
Don't Let Go. I love that song.
I can tell.
David Oyelowo produced this.
Great actor.
And stars in it.
Great actor.
We kind of speculated. I honestly didn't hear about this movie until I saw a trailer for it. Not last week, but the week. Good Boys. I saw a trailer for this movie and I was like, okay. And then this is really the only thing coming out. Well, besides
The Matrix, which I watched this morning in Dolby.
Should everyone go see it?
Oh my gosh, dude. This movie is so iconic. You forget how many of the scenes.
Easily in one of your favorites.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and it's one of my favorite trilogies of all time.
Oh yeah, you stuck through all of them, huh? Because a lot of people go like 1, 2,
and then
like
3. Yeah. And I do too.
But like not at that low scale. You'll still watch 3.
Yeah.
Like if 3's on TV, you're on it.
Ding.
Oh, sweet. Don't Let Go,
I don't
David.
know why Colonel Sanders is really in the movie, but move forward very quickly.
Time traveling, crime solving, anything you want in a movie at a Thursday night.
I love all those topics.
What did you think of Don't Let Go?
Well, this is gonna be a longer video, I think.
I believe so. Probably just
because I got questions to wonder.
Fair.
But
I don't know if I'll be able to answer them all.
Overall, I'm gonna say I was entertained.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest problem, which is what a lot of people were afraid of with Endgame also, is when it comes to time travel, unless you state, like in a dictionary of steps A, B, C, and X, Y, Z of what is okay, what happens in time travel, going back and forth, and once you have to state rules, because if you don't state rules, there's just a lot of confusion.
Yes.
And I was just going.
And that happens in not only time traveling movies, but a lot. I mean, a lot of movies, even movies with sci-fi character like Gemini. I mean, all these movies in which.
What was the one with Keira Knightley or Natalie Portman? It was like an alien. She saw her mirror.
Oh, in the skin.
Annihilation. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like that was another movie too.
I'm thinking of
like these rules.
Yeah. So anytime of these situations, you're creating something new. You have to establish a set of rules, or at least a basis of foundation, so we understand exactly what the concept is of what is happening. So
I thought that niece did a good job.
Yes,
I enjoyed her.
She was very good.
David Oyelowo.
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
I think for me, their performances were all right. They were good performances, but the material they had to work with didn't seem like there was much for them to do. Like, for instance, I thought the one thing that would happen for sure... I'm sorry, I usually go over as I'm already taking
No,
over,
I mean, I'm more confused.
You'll ask as I go, probably. So, one of the things I thought for sure was that these two characters would have an amazing chemistry, and I would believe they have such a close relationship. But the movie never feels like it starts. The first thing we get is this like kind of offbeat weird night where they're interacting, and it feels like they're meeting each other for the first time. Like there's not like that comfortable, oh like this we're so close. They try to play this game and try to establish like they do this all the time, but just the way that they talk to each other, it doesn't feel like they're super close. And there's another scene and then of course all the events happen. I think for me this was just really lacking in terms of writing and real conviction. There was just so much in the movie where I was just like, this doesn't make sense. Not even in terms of like the sci-fi timeline and all that, just in reality based, like there's so much of the movie where we're on the phone and we're between a character who has already died but now in the past and then a character in the future. And there's just so much time, there's so many times where I'm just like, it just never feels like a person would react these particular ways. Like for the first time or second time that they talk, there's like, Ashley, the niece, says hello maybe 10 times, and there's like 10-minute gaps in between them, and it was just driving me nuts. Like, why no one is just being like, can someone talk to me? There's a scene later on in the movie where characters are just rolling down streets in the suburbs with shotguns, and just driving down. Yes. No one's screaming, no one's doing these like normal reactive things and I just was so weirded out by it. There's a scene in the movie where David Oyelowo barges into his police station, bloodied and battered, and somehow all the officers decide it's a good idea to let him into an evidence room, and then he goes outside, he's on the phone again, and they just kind of all sit there, watch him on the phone, talking, rambling as he's literally bleeding out, and it's the most like like where in reality does this take place? And of course, after the phone call, that's when everyone comes from I mean, like the camera shows us all these cops and officers just watching this guy, and it's only until he's done with the phone call does everyone decide to rush in, and it's just like, what is happening? For the time traveling thing, it's really confusing because they really don't establish the rules, and the one thing that they don't really have, we're gonna kind of get into spoilers here. So if you really don't want to know anything, I guess this is the time to turn off. I guess for overall spoilers, what did you think? Or before we get into even kind of spoilers, were you a fan? Were you not a fan?
I'll never watch it again.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I was entertained. I watched the whole movie and I wasn't bored. But there are just so many parts, whether we want to call these plot holes or just the time traveling ideas. Yeah. I was just like, and then Kent mentioned something too. And then as I thought about that, I was like, yeah, what? I don't like. There was so much confusion. But I mean,
I wasn't really a fan of the movie.
I don't know if I can recommend it, but I enjoyed it. But I enjoy movies.
I thought the concept was really cool, and I felt that there were some parts where I was really invested.
I don't know if the concept was cool now that I think about it, but I gotta ask you.
Well, the problem, but that's the problem is just that they were, I don't know, they just weren't focused.
What did you give it?
They were lazy. I wouldn't recommend this movie. Probably like a 1 out of 4. Yeah. And then most of the movie, I'm just like, damn, all the cool things they could have done. So anyway, semi-spoilers here. So yeah,
spoilers.
The one thing. Okay, let's just do spoilers. You're right. The one thing that really baffled me. Well, not baffled me, which I actually thought would have been cool, was that they kill him once, or so to speak, or he supposedly dies, and then we come back into another timeline.
Oh, he died.
I would assume he died.
Okay, so that's happened. Okay, so I didn't know that. So he died?
I'm assuming he died.
But he bled to death.
He bled to death on that floor.
And then
on the floor.
Well, no, he's in the ambulance, right? So he died in the ambulance.
And then he's in the car again.
Yeah, so then he's in a new timeline.
Why? Why did the time travel even happen in the first place?
So the initial timeline is changed when she makes that phone call. When she calls the police on her dad, she alters the timeline.
Yeah, but why did time travel even happen?
Oh, I have no idea. Okay. But see, for me, I didn't care that it didn't explain why these abilities happened. Like, I'll buy the fact that it's just some miracle. You know, I mean, that happens all the time in movies. I'll buy that this person is just gifted with this second chance. But like you said, I mean, I don't know, like, I just felt like we were, like, honestly, I thought there were some really, really cool opportunities. I think the best scene in the movie is when we actually finally get our characters kind of in the same place. It was always really strange.
At the cafe?
At the cafe. I thought that was probably the best scene in the movie when we actually finally get some interaction. I actually thought at the end he was going to ask her to bury him a gun somewhere, but then I realized, like, oh no, this version of him has to die, you know, or disappear or whatever.
You?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I was just like, well, in this universe, like, she's still dead and he's still miserable, so he has to be erased or he has to die. Because he can't, that's not a happy ending. But I'm surprised. I mean, even the ending isn't really happy. I mean, her dog is dead, her dad is dead, his wife, her mom is dead. Like, and then they just kind of settled. They're like, all right, let's just, you know. So it wasn't even really like the perfect ending.
So is the bad guy?
Yeah,
is
the partner.
Is that Forrest Gump's partner?
Or a different actor? Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Forrest Gump's partner?
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
Shrimp.
Yeah, no.
Is that not him?
I don't believe. No.
Okay, so that guy.
Yeah, the partner Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby, he's just the bad guy, obviously.
Yeah, so he is a part of a secret drug group. That was the thing, too. The whole explanation of how his family is involved, I didn't even comprehend it. Yeah, so, because they just shoehorn it into a conversation in the car. Alfred Molina is trying to explain it. So he got back into the drug.
Doc Ock gained some weight.
Doc Ock did gain some weight, and they didn't even use him to do anything. The moment I saw him, I was like, oh, that's the bad guy for sure. He's trouble, because he's like, just like in Law & Order, when there's like a special guest appearance, and he's just like a guy that they talked to in the beginning, you know they're coming back to that dude, because they didn't hire him for just that nonsense. But yeah, Alfred Molina was just like they suckered me, and then they hit me with the partner. I'm sorry, what were you asking me?
Okay, so he died.
Yes, he was killed.
Comes back. Why did the timeline change now from a Wednesday to Tuesday? What was the...
Because they altered events of... So, when we first find Ashley, she's in the bathtub. She has her backpack in the bathtub.
Yes.
the circumstances change because in the once we go back into that situation, there's something that she does, or there's something that takes place that alters the timeline.
Okay.
And I think it's when she calls the cops on her dad. Because remember, they're like, you don't remember that? It was a dud. But because she called the cops on her dad, Bobby found out, and then Bobby had to go kill them. That's what happens.
Okay.
So that's what changes there. So in the initial situation, I don't know why they're killed in the first place, though. Like, that part I didn't understand this. Because in the second one, I thought all the events were inspired. Yeah, the drugs.
The drugs.
But
so was the dad back into drugs, or that was planted by Bobby?
no, I think no, he was involved in like selling or distributing.
He was.
Yes.
Okay.
But hear me out. The reason why they kill him is because he didn't get out of town once the drugs were reported. But the drugs weren't reported the first time around.
Oh, it's just straight.
Remember, he's like, "Why did you get out of town? I told you to get out of town." And that's why he says, "Ashley, tell me how you knew about the box."
Was that genuine? He really was trying to. He's like, if you leave town, I'm not going to kill you.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, definitely, because there is that whole. And then I don't know the end. Like, I get it. Like, this guy is his partner for all these years. But I mean, obviously, he's also a ruthless killer who could shoot a person in the face, no problem. But like at the end, they make him like he's like the entire time, instead of just shooting David Oyelowo, he's like, ah.
Yeah. Why was that? He killed the dog. Killed the mom,
he was like ruthless.
Killed the dad.
And then finally facing David Oyelowo like just made him physically weak.
Why was
like he
that?
acted like he was hurt. I don't know. I'm assuming there was a fight sequence they probably cut, or there was something that happened because he kept acting injured. He was like sitting there like, ah. And like nothing happened to him. He just shot Alfred Molina, then made him. Yeah, so I don't know. There were a lot of things like that.
And Alfred, he like straight up killed Doc Ock.
Yeah. So I thought like I was.
And
saying,
then another thing too is how is his intention wasn't to go to jail, so how is he going to get away with all this? Sorry.
Oh, he would have blamed it on David Oyelowo. I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure his plan was to kill David Oyelowo. He was the good cop who saved the dirty cop with trying to kill the clean cop.
And the dirty cop is obviously
but he's
David
really
Oyelowo.
Bobby.
Got it.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense if you really map it out, but it doesn't feel satisfactory. Like, did it work? Yeah, I guess. Was it satisfactory to me? No. Like, did I get the kind of ending that I wanted, or I don't know. At the end of the day, I just don't really understand what the point of it was. And then I also,
So in the final timeline, her parents did die again, but now she's alive with him.
Yeah, so she's alive. Yeah, now she's gonna be traumatized and just be, So yeah, at the end, so I'm thinking like, oh man, he's gonna tell her to go up to the mountain and bury a gun, and that's where I thought they were going. And I was like, that would be pretty dope, because then he would have been able to find it 2 weeks later. But the only thing they used with that was the gum scene. And I was like, that's so shitty. Like it's so underwhelming. Like, why would you not do something really, really cool? But just throughout the entire movie, that. The trailer really pitches it as these two kind of solving this crime together, and it never really feels like that. It just kind of feels like a lot of David Oyelowo just going.
And how many times did he have to get shot? Jesus.
And in the same place too. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I just thought it was a movie that had, I did think, an initial solid concept, and a concept that you could have some really fun exploring, but they just went with what's cheap, what's easy, and let's just get it out. I don't understand what the movie was trying to say. Like, I don't understand what the movie was trying to tell me. I don't understand what the movie was really trying to do. A cool concept, but again, just not well executed because lack of writing and probably just lack of budget. I mean that's really it. The script did not create full characters. I can't tell you anything about the main character besides that he loves his niece. Like, I mean, they really don't paint a very wide picture of him. He's in the first scene, he's an uncle who cares about his. The next scene, he doesn't care what his niece says. He's busy with work. The next scene, he's an alcoholic, and then we never see him take a drink again. Like, I mean, it's just all over the place. And for me, again, my mind just kept going back to all these moments where I was like, this just doesn't feel like I'm in a real world. And I'm not saying like with the time traveling thing. I'll accept that, but. She's running from, once it's revealed who it is, she's running from him, and he's like walking down the stairs with a shotgun, and she gets on her bike, and she's like slowly trying to catch speed, and he's like driving behind her. I'm just like, why are you not screaming for help? Like, what is happening in this world? And I don't know how far, but from the looks of the apartments and the houses and where she was going, I mean, she traveled an incredible distance to get to her uncle's house. Not thought once to run into a building, not once to run into and I'm not one to nitpick things like that, but there comes a time when you're so focused and you just have so many issues that it's hard to ignore, right? Like I've always complained about the people who count the bullets in the gun, for example, you know. No, the gun can't hold too many bullets, or they shot until they, you know, that's fine. But if it becomes so alarmingly unrealistic, then you can't help but just wonder. Like, I could not believe that scene where he's in the evidence room and he's just like bleeding out, and they're just like, whoa, whoa. The second one, at least, like the chief was there and like they were caught, yeah. And that was the other thing. So they give you the impression that this time he's going like off the books, right? Because he's like, I'm gonna have to threaten this guy with my gun. Threatens a police officer's life to get into the evidence room, but then it's okay once we're in the evidence. I don't know. I'm just baffled by it. I think, you know,
the warehouse baffled me. So he
The
goes in, guns blazing. They defend the compound, and then they don't chase him when he's driving off. It's like,
yeah,
well,
that's
we
true.
ward him off, but we're not gonna chase him.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's all these things.
Why did they shoot at him right away? Also,
Yeah, like
just
they
because
knew all of a
someone
sudden.
just goes there doesn't mean that they could literally just be like, what was it?
Why? And I didn't understand why they chased Ashley. For all they know, that's just a girl like just snooping around.
It's a girl. Yeah, it's a little girl.
So like, why? You know, if you want to scare her off, that's one thing. But like, you're gonna chase her and then steal her backpack, unless that person knew it was his daughter.
Yeah.
But how would that? You know, I mean, that was just a bit of a stretch to me. And again, one of the most important parts of the entire movie, if you ask me, how is that guy involved, or how is
the white guy?
Yeah, what is Eugene?
Georgie.
How is Georgie?
Georgie.
Yeah. Hiya, Georgie. I don't know how the dad was involved. I mean, I know he was involved some way, but that whole scene when Alfred Molina explains it in the car like it's no big thing, you're so focused on the fact that you're assuming
Alfred Molina's the bad guy.
yeah, and you're like in this really tense moment where you're like, okay, now he's yeah, and they like take him up this dirt road. Like, I mean, if he's a cop, I'm just saying, you know, you get two cops that don't want to take, and speaking of which, the entire Eternal Affair scene to me was like mind-blowing. Like, in what world would an officer be able to ask another officer if he slept with his brother's wife and then killed his brother and family in cold blood at a table like it was no big deal?
Oh,
like,
so
that scene to me was blew my mind.
But that was the bad guy.
So he's involved.
Yeah.
He was involved. Yeah, he's one of the bad guys.
No, that wasn't even real.
And we didn't even get to see him get his comeuppance. We didn't get to see him arrested. We didn't get to see him charged. For all we know, we don't even know if Eugene even, like, the one thing, I mean, I'm always a person who hates when movies go on too long, but like, we have no idea what happened with Eugene or Georgie or any of that stuff. Yeah, whatever it is. We have no idea. Like, how do I know if the cops who show up aren't on it? The cops who showed up at that house aren't in on it. I mean, like, how do you, if you're involved in all those cops, how do you get away without, like, you know, killing the one guy in there and being like, why'd you kill him? Oh, he's a part of the secret organization. Oh, well, now this guy knows you have to kill him. I don't know. It just didn't make much sense to me. That's a bummer. But that's okay.
So then Bobby killed, what's his name?
The dad.
No.
Oh.
The chief.
Doc Ock.
Yeah, Doc Ock.
But so that means Doc Ock was in on it because he's had the yellow hat.
No, so does Bobby.
Oh.
Bobby's, remember?
That's
Because
right,
he's waving the
admit.
baseball glove and he's like,
That's right.
blocks, whatever his name's son got us through.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's a subtle moment. Like, I don't even think people, I didn't even realize that until right now. You're right. I forgot about that. They do the whole yellow hat thing. They never even say, like, oh yeah, remember his son is on the team. Again, stupid. I couldn't even remember where the yellow hat was, to be honest. I was trying to remember like where we saw the yellow hat. But
2 times. The first time was in the photo. He was like bragging. Second time was when you took down in his car visor. There was the photo again.
Yeah, the photo. But where do we initially see the hat? Like, how do we? Why was
it? Back seat when Ashley was looking through. The
okay.
BMW.
Yes. Yep. Okay. That's where it was. I was like, I got confused. I was like, I know the yellow hat's important, but for the life of me, I can't remember where it was, what timeline it was in, and all that. So yeah, and then at the end, I was like, okay, and then they just bleeped out, and they were just like, and then I'm assuming that conscious.
It resets.
But my question again, I'm assuming those scenes in which there was two, like, so that what would happen is he'd get tunnel vision, and then there would be what looked like a siren, and then they would usually kind of show that we're in 2 different timelines, and then they would kind of merge. Because the David Oyelowo in the new timeline remembered everything that happened in the other timeline. So I'm assuming when this David Oyelowo disappeared or died, all that conscious moved into that David Oyelowo. So then the 3 David Oyelowos merged. Their conscious
really?
and like their brains. So like at the end,
so the final one knows everything.
I would think he knows everything because the one that when he died the first time, he remembered. Because he was like, why on a Tuesday, not on a Wednesday? So he must have taken that conscious. And then at the end, when she says, "You be safe, I'll be," whatever the saying was.
You save me, I save you.
Yeah, you save me, I save you. He kind of connects it.
No, yeah,
and then
right.
and then at the end, there's shots of
Yes.
two of him, and then they kind of.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what it means, that they're like converging.
So that's why when he supposedly died in the ambulance, all of a sudden he's all shaking.
and then there was like
and then the red
consciousness.
bleed.
okay,
The
yeah.
red bleed. Oh.
Gotcha.
And it did do that at the very beginning. It opened
to tell
with
us,
that.
yeah.
It opened with
okay,
that
okay.
knife. Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Even with all that stuff, it's very unclear.
Bum, bum, bum.
You shouldn't need to take a magnifying glass to it. I mean, you could be smart about things, but you should also make sure that you're, I don't know. I just wasn't.
Definitely unclear without a tripod and a stabilizer.
It's fair.
Next week is very important. No. Jason Sinham's about to turn 29?
28.
28. God, I'm old.
That's right. I will be
Oh, yeah, you're 9 years
in
old.
the
Yeah, yeah.
best place in the world for my birthday. on
AMC
September
Town
5th.
Square.
AMC Town Square.
If y'all
because
want to come out,
we're
8
watching
o'clock,
It Chapter 2.
we're meeting in MacGuffin's on AMC property, which is the bar.
Yes.
And we're going to celebrate with Jason Cinema.
Yeah, we're gonna have some drinks. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get to start early, get everyone really, really comfortable and having fun and laughing, just so they could be terrified for the next 2 hours of their night. So yeah, make sure to come out and celebrate. Text this guy 702
345-618.
or comment below because we want you to join us, and hopefully it's a better experience. We're out of the August mush. Now we're in September, which is we got Rambo.
Also
You got
September.
It. Yeah.
Okay. What about
That's at the
other
end of
two?
the month, But then we're in October. We're that much
Joker.
closer. There's a lot of stuff in October to get us through for sure. There's Joker. What else is in October? There's a few other movies in October. Then you got The Irishman coming.
That's a Netflix movie, though.
Yeah, but they're gonna release it. Hopefully Vegas gets it. 'Cause
I don't think so.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours, yeah.
Martin Scorsese.
That's really long.
They're re-releasing Midsummer too, with an extra 30 minutes.
Wasn't that movie already long?
It was already 3 hours, so it'll be 3.5 hours now. Directed cut, coming out for this way to end the summer at the bang.
You gonna watch it?
I'm tempted.
If you do, let me know. I might go with you.
Okay, because you
said
did
it
see the
was-
first time. Yeah. All right. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you guys for his birthday. It too. Let's
It'll
go.
be fun. Let's do it.
JasonCinema.com is known as
Film Lovers website.